Hey everyone, Joe with Skipper Realty Group here. It's been a while, right? I feel like I don't even know you guys anymore. But as you can see, I've been making some changes, getting some new digs, so I'm ready to go. Now, since it's been so long, I wanted to talk about a big topic for the first video back. This topic gets talked about a lot, and really more than it should, but it's a big one, so let's do it. The question is, do you really need an agent, and why do we make so much in commission? Now, I first want to give a shout out to Anthony for this video. He didn't suggest I do the video, but because Anthony thinks real estate agents are worthless, he pushed me to dig deep into whether we are actually needed in general and why we earn so much in commissions. So thank you, Anthony, for your kind words. But this question's lingered around our market for a long time, and when the market is hot and houses are selling like crazy, everyone feels like, hey, I could do this myself and save some money. And my reply is go for it. It could be awesome and you could save tons of cash for sure. Now, I make some agents mad with this video, but I'm gonna try and stay non-biased and give you the facts regarding using an agent. So it may or may not be what you wanna hear, but it's the truth, so deal with it. But let me start by saying I think there are situations when using an agent may not fit into your specific needs. For example, if you check out my video on using an iBuyer, there are conveniences to using Opendoor, Zillow, etc. They can provide certain services to certain clients that could work well, depending on your specific situation. It's worth a look. And if you want to know more, check out that video on my website. But first, I want to start by breaking down agent commissions because it comes up a lot. So I want to give you an understanding of where that all goes. So at least in Oregon, commissions can range from 5 to 7% of the sales price of the home. This commission is paid for by the sellers from the profits they make on the home. So as a buyer, you pay none, zero of the agent's commissions. This is the reason I personally would say there is no good reason to not have an agent as a buyer. Having said that, this 5 to 7% does not go to just the seller's agent. It's split between the agent that's selling the home and the agent that brought you in the buyer. So if you're a seller, your agent gets 2.5 to 3.5% of the commission, depending on what you both decided on before you listed. Let's use an example. You sell your home for $350K. A 5% commission is $17,500. That's split between the two agents, so that breaks down to $87.50 per agent. Now, side note, if you choose to sell yourself, you'll still generally be asked by the buyer's agent to compensate them for bringing you a buyer. And I say generally, but it's really most of the time, they're gonna ask for that. They'll be doing the paperwork, negotiations, and more likely than not, making sure your paperwork as a seller is legit. So you're gonna pay 2.5 to 3.5% of the buyer's agent, even if you sell it yourself. If you wanna be really stubborn and tell the buyer's agent you aren't giving them compensation, you're gonna find yourself a lonely seller because buyer's agents are not a fan of working for free, so you won't see a lot of represented buyers come into your place. So in reality, you will really only save yourself 2.5% of the commission if you went by yourself. Okay, let's get back to the commissions. So the commission the agent gets is not turned into $100 bills that we throw all over ourselves in our palace on the hill. First off, taxes takes a third of it, and with me, you get professional photos, drone video, and your landscaping taken care of the entire time you're listed. And you get the comfort of knowing that not only will all the paperwork associated with your home be done professionally, but that you'll have someone representing you in this transaction to get you the highest return on your investment in the shortest amount of time possible. An agent does a lot of things in the background that doesn't get noticed, but it's critical to not screwing up your home sale. The amount of behind the scenes calls, texts, offers that go on at all hours of the day and night are a lot. It's just the facts. I'm not whining, I promise. But once that offer comes in, the contract needs to be looked over to make sure you as a seller are not being messed with, or some line in the contract is not having you pay all of the closing costs, for example. Remember, the buyer's agent is writing the offer and only represents the buyer. They aren't really worried about you. But also, once that contract is signed, there are tons of stuff legally that needs to get done in order to ensure that the mortgage company is going to loan the money and the title paperwork is valid. That means regular, and by regular I mean sometimes too much, contact with all the various agencies associated with the sale to ensure the home can close on time and that you get your money at the end of the transaction. And during this process, there always are points that you are and aren't allowed to negotiate, as well as timelines associated with that negotiating. Your agent, aka me, knows all this stuff, so you don't need to worry about it. As an example, one of the more important times to negotiate is post-inspection. Have you ever seen one? An inspection makes your home look like it's unfit to live in. I know this, and I've seen lots of them. Now with me as your agent, I can help you see what items are a big deal and what items aren't, and help negotiate through that with the buyer's agent. If you go at it alone, you run the risk of giving too much because you didn't know. It could cost you thousands, maybe not. So really what I'm trying to say is it boils down to how much time, effort, money you want to put into selling your home yourself. With me, you sign the paperwork to start the sale, and I take care of the rest. Now, I'm not going to compare us to doctors, attorneys, etc., which a lot of agents tend to do because I don't think that's really a fair comparison. I think the best way you can put it is this. You can remodel your own kitchen. You don't need a contractor to help you do it. You can do your own research, tear down the old kitchen, put up new cabinets, new flooring, new tile, new countertops, all by yourself. It's going to take a lot of time, and you take on the liability and risk of managing a huge mistake or something during the remodel, or not. But it's possible, and lots of people can do it who want to. And you don't have to pay a contractor who pays so much money. Another example is you can change a transmission in your car. You can learn all about it on YouTube, buy all the tools necessary, get under that bad boy, and do it yourself. You can take the time, again, run the risk of doing something wrong. Maybe something small, but also maybe something big that totally ruins the car for good. But you can totally do it, and you won't have to pay that mechanic that charges you so much money. What it is there are pros and cons to paying for a service. Some services I'm fine doing myself and taking the risk of screwing it up. For my kitchen remodel, my car problems, and my home sale, I'm gonna go with a professional. I wanna get the highest return on my investment, and the only way in my eyes to do that is to go with a real estate agent. There's just too much risk in such a huge purchase for me to go at it alone, especially in Oregon where there's no downside for a buyer to have an agent represent them. And that buyer's agent, remember, is only looking out to get their buyer the best deal possible. They'll be honest with you as a seller, but they're going to write up the contract, contingencies, and all sorts of stuff in those contracts to better their client's place in the deal. And if you don't have that same representation, you run the risk of a multi-$1,000 screw up. Maybe not, but maybe. So, to wrap the show up, I want to be honest and tell you that you really don't need a real estate agent to buy or sell your home. You don't. It's a matter of what risk you're willing to take to go at it yourself. It will take time and money no matter what choice you make. But I can say that with me, your time spent on a sale is minimal, and the money spent is well worth it for peace of mind knowing you will get it done right and you will get the highest return on your investment. Thanks. And if you have any questions or want to chat more about this or any other real estate topic, give me a ring. Thanks, guys.